some Paper Street.
Yeah, yeah, of course, and to talk to someone from America. It's been interesting. The last 3 people I've had on have been from all around the globe.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up, and I saw a lot of international interviews going on.
Yeah, a ton, a ton. It's been a trip. I miss talking to the affiliates. There's so much there. They interact with so many people. They do on the front lines. You know what it is? It's kinda like doing a ride along with cops when you talk to people who work in the affiliates.
Yeah, yeah, just frontline,
You Yeah,
warrior just out there battling.
yeah, totally. Hey, are you in a good spot before we dig in? I can't tell if it's my internet or your internet that's a little glitchy. I think it might be yours because 'cause I'm a
It could
professional
be
after
me.
all.
I could try to move. Yeah, I might be a little far away from the router. Um, Let me
Ca
do
ca
a
where
quick
Yeah. Are you at
move if
home?
it's not
Are you at
good.
home?
Yeah, yeah.
You almost sounds like you have your whisper voice on too. You have kids sleeping or anything, or
No, just I mean, I
no?
have my
Okay,
AirPods
alright.
on if they're not loud enough, but I'll
I
roll
appreciate
to
it.
a
Oh, yeah,
different
this is
spot
good.
here.
Yeah, yeah, this is awesome because 'cause we're not glitching
Better?
now. Oh, this is yeah, so much better. Thanks,
Okay.
dude. The
Yeah,
cadence in
I was upstairs, so I
conversation
was probably
when it gets
alright,
glitchy, the
sweet.
conversation gets a little, like, just off cadence. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
Gotcha.
wow. Yeah, now I can see yeah, yeah, now I can see every hair on your face too, awesome.
Cool. Yeah,
Even
so
the picture got
down
clear.
closer to the router here, so it's upstairs, too far away.
Hey, tell me the name. What's RDT stand for? You're head coach at RDT CrossFit?
Yep, yeah, I've been there for 5 years, so it's Realize, Develop, Thrive is, the acronym that the owner came up with, when he founded the gym. He was in physical therapy school, and he just kind of envisioned the whole vision for the place. Um, so he's a physical therapist, and then opened the gym along with his wife, who's a school teacher, and, we try to be like a one-stop, shop health hub in, South Jersey.
And realize is, does that stand for something like realize you have control or realize that you can be
Yeah,
better? What's
uh,
realize?
realize your potential, develop your abilities in, sports and CrossFit and health, and then thrive in life and in sport.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Thriving is awesome. And hey, dude, I just wanna say something, digging through your Instagram, it's like 100%, and then I went to your YouTube, it's 100% abundantly clear that you are a full CrossFit geek, you're bought in, and that you really wanna help people. I mean, you are really about
Yeah,
sharing information. I was just like, "Wow, this guy really wants to help people."
yeah, that's definitely, I guess, my goal or part of my purpose as a CrossFit coach, and I'm sure my wife would tell you that I'm obsessed with CrossFit, or any of my buddies at the gym, or my brother who got me started on CrossFit. They know I tend to have a pretty addictive personality, and it's just a good thing that I got into CrossFit and not like worse things that you can get addicted to. Um, and then, there's a lot of teachers in my family. I have a associate's degree in health and phys ed. So, but then I just realized I didn't really want to work in the school system and finished out college, but wound up landing in CrossFit towards the end of college, thankfully. So that's the area teaching adults and, grown children how to be healthy and fit.
How old are you?
37.
Oh god, you look young. You do not. You look
Thanks.
27. That's crazy. I thought you were way younger. Hey, obviously, you can help people in any profession, right? If you're a waiter, you can, be nice to people and change their days and love on 'em. Like, it's everywhere you can help people, but CrossFit, you can really have profound impact on people's lives, forever and generational impact. How do you where do you think you got this, um I mean, for people who wanna help people, it's the place to be. It's so young. How do you just seem I guess 37 is not that young, but where do you think you got that you wanna help people?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, my mom always says that's, like, what I did when I was a kid. I was just always kind of the one who was, like, corralling a few other kids in class and roping them into an activity and just helping people or teaching people from a young age. I don't remember any of that, but I guess it just kinda continued and, bled into my whole life and career. But yeah, so I started coaching CrossFit full time in 2012, and I guess I was 20 when I'm 37, so it's 15 years ago or so, 14 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
So I would have been like 23, 22 when I started doing that. So there's a lot less, I guess, risk jumping in then because I didn't have a lot of bills and responsibility. But
right, right.
that's what I didn't feel like the being a gym teacher was really going to help people. Um, and then I was studying environmental health, which is not really related to like actual health and fitness for my bachelor's degree. Finished that up and found CrossFit right at the end. Um, so that's where, I was like, okay, I'm going to go do this until it doesn't work out, and then I'll get a real job later. But now it's been 14, 15 years. I've had to get a real job, so it works.
Hey, let me ask you a question. This is kind of off topic, but environmental health, is that focused on keeping the environment healthy, or is that focused on
Fo-
keeping people healthy in the environment?
Keeping people healthy from basically pollution or food poisoning or pandemics or other things around them. So it's like population health. You're dealing with that type of stuff, not one to one. You're not helping the individual. You're just looking out for like how do we make sure that trash is or recycling is being done the right way, restaurant inspections, things like that, which was interesting when I went into it, but it didn't have that same personal connection that obviously being a CrossFit coach has.
Yeah. Hey, and this is way off subject. Are you seeing it's become trendy on Instagram and Twitter for people to take these lead sticks and dip them in things and check content for lead? Have you seen that?
No, I mean,
This dude
I
took
mean,
this lady took Tom's toothpaste the other day and got a lead stick. You can buy a lead kit for testings for
mhm,
lead, and she got some Tom's toothpaste. Her kid, her doctor did a blood panel on her kid, and they said, "Hey man, your kid has fucking lead to
yeah,
like 10 times the amount of lead in his blood that's like
yeah,
healthy or whatever."
and that can
And
totally mess with cognitive development. It's
yeah,
not good.
yeah, and she tested the Toms, and the Toms was off the chart, and then now it's my algorithm is filled with it, and it's like, holy shit, like, uh, it that's the best argument I've heard now, like, don't buy anything packaged. Like, everything has lead in it.
It could, yeah. It depends on the facility and where they're sourcing the ingredients. Like it's in soil, it's in places. So
Yeah,
they're supposed to be testing. There's things in place in some countries, but then with international trade, that's like it's tough.
and then I saw this other thing, obviously my algorithm wants to send me conspiracy shit. They were saying that the lead poisoning from paint, I guess they made lead illegal in paint, and that was just bullshit because really no one was getting sick from lead paint, and actually lead paint on your house stops EMF from coming in. I was like, "Holy shit."
Oh,
But
yeah, I
it
don't
wouldn't
know.
surprise me if they got everything backwards. It wouldn't surprise
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
In college, I did go to some homes where there were children with lead poisoning because of the paint on the
Oh, there
windowsills,
were
like
okay, okay,
chewing on windowsills and stuff.
okay,
So then after that, there's like a permanent, like a bi-yearly follow-up every 6 months until they're 18 or whatever to ensure that the child's safe. So
okay. Alright,
it,
good, alright, debunked.
yeah,
Alright.
some
Did you
people,
ever chew on
probably not all.
windowsills? I didn't do that.
Probably did. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, hopefully there was no lead paint. We'll see. Maybe that's why, so obsessed with CrossFit. Who knows?
The gym is in New Jersey,
Yep, Mays Landing, New Jersey.
and, RDT, Realize, Develop, Thrive. You're the head coach there. Who's the owner?
Dave Lorenzo, you actually you roasted him on the open announcement show
Oh, good.
where you had to make the application video and you guys watched him and there was one guy who did it right. That was actually Dave who did it right. And
And, of course, we punished him for doing it right.
yeah, he told him that he was like looked like a marginalized immigrant, something like that. Called him Dave El Rio or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave. That means we love you, buddy. That means
Yeah,
we
it was
love
good.
you.
It was good. It was a good roasting.
And, how do you know him?
So through CrossFit, he he's from Pennsylvania, but landed down here with his college internship for physical therapy school, and he met his wife, who was a member of a CrossFit gym that was around the corner from where I coach. So I knew her first, and then I was coaching at a gym about an hour from home when they opened up in 2018. And a couple of my friends started going there. I brought my wife there because I knew of Danielle, and I knew Dave was a physical therapist, and my wife has had a history of back issues that go back to before CrossFit. But she just always has to be smart and modify and listen to her body. But I knew that that was a place that I would be comfortable taking her because she had been not doing CrossFit for a while,
Mm.
just without the gym I was at. I wound up going somewhere else to coach. I was driving over an hour to coach at a gym, and took her there, and I started dropping in there. And then when COVID hit, the gym I was at had to downsize. We had 3 locations, all full-time coaches. The owner had to make the tough decision to close 2 gyms and downsize.
Oh, that
So
sucks.
then I approached Dave and Danielle, even though they were coming out of the pandemic shutdown and probably losing members and stressing their gym was going to close. And I pitched the idea of hiring me, you know, to build a full-time job, which took a little bit, but we got there, and it's been over 5 years now. So
Wow, congratulations.
yeah, so making it work, making it work.
And is the gym flourishing?
Yes, yeah. So the gym is not just from me, but more since I started. I know it's more than doubled in membership, in large part to just you know, us trying Dave and I share the same vision, I guess, or the same beliefs about CrossFit. He started, I think, in 2008, so he's been doing CrossFit a lot longer than me. I started in 2012, but we both, were defenders of the methodology. Like we believe in the power of CrossFit, the impact it's had on our lives. We believe it's the best training program, so that really um, helps. It makes it work, with us being able to push the same vision, and it's very clear. And we had a few really awesome people that came in our doors, and then by the power of community and just word of mouth, we kind of have been able to grow the gym to where we're at.
My geography is so bad. I always forget that New Jersey goes, south like that. I always think
Yeah.
of New Jersey as just east of New York, and that's it. But look at that.
Yep.
You guys are south of Philadelphia.
Yep, yeah, so northern New Jersey and southern New Jersey are very different. We're near the Pine Barrens, and it's called the Garden State. There's a lot of farmland down in the southern half, where if you've ever been to North Jersey, it's much more densely populated and a
Yeah.
little less like that. They have mountainous areas as well, but it's really dense near New York.
Eh, so, like, if you drive around, like, within 10 miles of your gym, are there cows?
Yeah, going towards Vineland and Hamilton. Hamilton's like the blueberry capital of the world. So a
Oh,
lot of farmland, like agricultural stuff, but also yeah, there's some cow farms and stuff going towards Philly.
uh, that's crazy. They grow blueberries outside there,
Yep.
like, just out in
hmm
fields. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
very
I had
very
no
acidic
idea.
soil, so it's good for growing delicious blueberries in Hamilton.
Yeah, that's crazy. I always forget that. Wow. Alright, and, you got, New York, you border New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland no, Delaware, close to Maryland.
Yep.
Alright, that's cool, I didn't even know that. So, is it a rural area where your gym is?
So, yeah, the coastal towns there, Atlantic City, Ocean City are kind of really big tourist destinations, like vacation spots. Um, and then it's not like farmland, middle of nowhere, but it's not as densely populated as if you go west towards Philadelphia and everything there. So a lot of nice, like wooded. The Pine Barrens is just a huge wooded nature area to the west.
Where were you born, Sean?
I was born in Pittman, so it's about an hour to the west up near Philadelphia.
Okay, so you're Jersey through and through.
Yep, yeah, just made the trek down to the coast for college. I went to Stockton University, which is maybe 20 minutes from the gym there.
Uh, Going back, are you the oldest? Do you have siblings?
I have 3 siblings. I'm the second oldest.
Okay. I
So
was
my
gonna
older
guess
brother,
you're I was gonna guess you're the oldest because of the carrying thing, but go on.
No, my older brother, he's the one who got me into CrossFit. He started years before I did, and he just like whooped my butt surfing one year when I went down to Florida to visit him, and then finally listened to him. Walked into a CrossFit gym. I was coming off of a running injury, and couldn't train. Felt like super out of shape, and then tried CrossFit, and I was like, "Oh, this is way better than just running. You know, this is a lot more fun." I kind of missed that team sport camaraderie that I had when I was younger. So every day showing up to class, it was like my team is here, you know, for the day. I got team practice every single day. You know, and then the open is game day or whatever competitions are game day. So in my 20s, that was really appealing, what I really got hooked onto with my older brother. My younger brother is big into running. He's tried CrossFit, but he's a runner for the most part. And then my sister also does CrossFit as well. She started when she was like, back when I started a couple years in, we got her into it. So she was like 14, 15 when she got into it, and just, you know, has stuck with it off and on through high school and life.
So it's a family full of active your all your siblings are active and like to move and get at it.
Yeah, we all kind of have our thing, you know, but we all just try to be active, you know, be outside and just be an active, you know, be healthy individuals.
You ever go for runs with your running brother still?
Yes, yeah, he used to be a lot faster than me, but I also uh, tend to use my CrossFit to kind of like do crazy things as well. So I've done a couple half Ironmans. I've done
Oh,
some
wow.
ultra marathon trail runs, and my brother's also into that. So he's definitely still a better runner than me, but currently I've run further than him. So my longest race is a little longer than his. So for now, he'll probably get me this year.
And, how tall are you?
5'9".
Oh, re okay, you look big.
No, no, I'm like maybe 180 pounds on a good day.
Okay, but clearly you are strong. You so not only even though you ran, I think I saw you did a clean and jerk with 300?
So I just cleaned 300 this year, finally, after, you know, CrossFitting since 2012. So took a while, but we finally cleaned 300, and then clean and jerk 290. I almost had 300, but I didn't have my shoes tied, and my back foot slipped out of the shoe, unfortunately. So I feel like I can get it. That's one of my goals for this year through the gym. My fitness goal is to get that 300-pound clean and jerk. Yeah, and that was a snatch PR I hit. You know, so back when I was training super hard in my 20s, that was a long time ago. And then this was this year. I forget when. Summertime at some point.
So Rob Orlando, was telling us the truth. It can take 10 years to build, strength.
Yeah, that's funny. I say that exact thing. I didn't realize that was from Rob Orlando, but I tell people all the time, you know, you can build a really good engine in 6 months, and it takes 10 years to truly get strong.
I mean, think about it. In 2015, you were a young, aggressive, I'll do anything kid, and
Yep.
yet you've put 75 pounds on your, clean since then.
Yes. Oh,
If you
well,
were doing two if you
clean.
were doing 220, that was that first oh, are all these
So yeah,
snatches?
these are just all snatches. There's a
Oh,
different
okay.
video with that clean. But yeah, probably back in 2015. Oh god, I'd have to look, but I could probably only clean like 255 or 260. So still a good improvement on that one.
Damn. So your brother introduces you to CrossFit. What sports were you playing before as a kid?
We played everything, and the town I grew up in was super small. You could walk everywhere. You had to walk to school. We had no school buses because it was so small. Um, so we would just play lots of pickup sports. But then I got really into like skateboarding and BMX for a little while, and then I eventually landed on tennis. And then I played drums, so played a lot of music in high school. That's kind of where I ended up, and played two years of college tennis. So I was just kind of all over the map with everything as a kid, though.
Hey, skateboarding, did that make you imbalanced at all?
Um, I was definitely like, I mean, I was young. I probably skateboarded like middle school and midway through high school, and I really was only good, you know, one side. I wasn't really ambidextrous with that. I didn't practice probably the right way to get really good at doing everything both directions there. So I kind
When
of
you went
just
to
like
And when you got into CrossFit, did you notice you were imbalanced a little bit? I sometimes wonder that because my kids skateboarded a lot, especially my oldest son who's 11, and sometimes I
Yeah.
look at him, I'm like, "Oh, is he imbalanced a little bit?"
So, in middle school, they did scoliosis screening. I don't know if that's the thing they do anymore. So
I remember
they
that
found
shit, yep.
that I had, yeah, you had to, like, take off your shirt and roll forward and stuff. So they noticed I had a slight curvature in my back, and then probably just carrying around a super heavy backpack. Again, I had to walk to school. I had, and just sitting with crappy posture as a kid, like, I have a slight curve in my back. My shoulders are very crooked, and then I played tennis for maybe like 5 to 7 years, really a lot of hours a day.
Yeah,
So, like, doing like a over under test, I'm super imbalanced from, like, similar to like baseball players, you would see a really imbalanced, a lot of extra rotation back on the throwing arm or the serving arm for tennis, and then this side not as much. It's an excess over here, but it definitely made me crooked, and it did lead to back problems that started in high school when I was playing tennis, and then they really were like the bane of my existence until I started CrossFit, and learned to brace my core, learned to deadlift properly. I had really was very quad dominant. I had really tight or weak hamstrings and posterior chain from the activities I did, and then just being crooked, it wasn't good. So early on, I did have some tweaks of my back in CrossFit because I was too young and going too hard. But as I learned over time, knock on wood, I haven't had back issues in years now, just from learning to move well. And I think it balanced me out. To your point, like, it definitely, those unilateral sports can make you crooked and imbalanced. So then doing some things, to work on that, learning to move well and strength train, to be well rounded, definitely can help.
what are your, go-to cues for yourself when deadlifting?
Yeah, so if I'm getting set up, it's going to be to just push out. The if you ever watch like those squat university videos or any of those good visuals, like expanding 360 degrees of my core, so six pack ab, obliques, and spinal erectors, pushing out all of those. Even if like my upper back rounds a little on a heavy deadlift, it's not the end of the world as long as my low back, as long as my midsection is neutral and doesn't change shape. I know I'm going to be good and I can push myself. But being 37, I don't deadlift as heavy that often anymore. When it's there, I'll strike when the iron's hot and go for a heavy deadlift. But I'm not necessarily pulling heavy weight all the time.
And when you mean push out, you mean like you're bracing your core also while filling up with a ton of air?
Yeah. So I've taken a lot of continuing ed courses and seminars and driven hours to take courses with physical therapists and power lifters, Olympic lifters, just over the years studied with my continuing education, and definitely like have learned like a bracing pattern that the bracing of your core muscles are is separate from the breathing. So you don't want to inhale and brace your abs at the same time. You can when you get really good, but if I'm teaching someone who's got a like is really having a big disconnect and I'm kind of maybe pulling them aside or doing a one-on-one session, we're just going to work on exhaling all the air out, give them like a physical cue with their own hands, or I can even just give a tactile cue to touch the obliques, and they're going to flex those muscles, and you can flex them, you can push out without breathing, you can talk while you do it, so you can brace your core without, it's independent of breath, you can still breathe in and out. It's part of how we move when we CrossFit. It's part of the challenge of cycling reps and why sometimes people will have low back or just extreme back
Yeah.
soreness all the way up to low back tweaks is they're not good enough at bracing and still breathing on top of that tension in their midsection. And as someone who had back problems, I definitely feel like I understand that, really, really well because I dealt with it early on. And now I know like I need to brace my core 3 out of 10 for dumbbell snatches with 50 pounds because it's a light enough movement that I can breathe while I cycle that. And I only need to squeeze a little bit. But if I'm going to cycle a 275 deadlift, it's going to be like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, and that's part of the difference between myself and a games athlete is they're only bracing 3 out of 10 while Jason Hopper's bracing 3 out of 10 while he
Right.
cycles 275 or 315 and they're just flying. So it's one of those things that definitely helps and try to help, when people in class are having issues or at the gym, that's something that, definitely helps people a lot.
What do you mean push out?
So Do you ever wear a weight belt when you lift? You ever tried one?
I've tried one, I have no idea how to I thought, I thought a weight I've never the couple times I've tried a weight belt, I thought a weight belt was you cinch it tight and it keeps your spine flat, and then I realized, no, that's not what the fuck's going on. But I feel so vulnerable, like, pushed out while
Yeah.
lifting. Is
So
that what
it's
you're saying you're supposed to do?
yeah, so right. So when you wear a weight belt, that's actually like one of the most common misconceptions with people who buy one, to
Yeah,
help combat back pain, is that um, they put on the belt, and you'll see people like take the velcroed end and put it around the post and use the post of the rig to pull the belt absolutely as tight as they can, like they're cinching up like a corset to crush
yeah,
their core. And
yeah,
what that does is it actually prevents you from flexing your core muscles, which is
ye
probably why you maybe didn't like wearing a belt when you did it before. You felt like it didn't do anything. Um, you should have it snug, but you should still be able to slip your hand behind the belt. So just snug enough that you can kind of smush your hand in between. And then when you get set to lift, you're gonna push out like you're trying to pop the Velcro off of the belt. You maybe
like, with your stomach.
yes, yeah. So forward with your six pack
God,
abs, out to the
okay.
side with your obliques and your
Don't
spine
have
erected.
what if you don't have six-pack abs? You still push
Well,
out?
they're in there. They're in there. Yeah. Yeah, right. But the and but those are the ones that most people can, like, push forward. You don't need to just push forward. You're trying to get that at all 360 degrees, like you're trying to fill up a balloon, but you
Yeah.
can flex those muscles independent of the breath. So and once you've flexed, then you kind of breathe down into your belly to further fill up that balloon and create
So
that
flex them and
abdominal
push
pressure.
out at the same time.
Flex first, then fill them up with air. Yeah, to create inner abdominal pressure is what
Okay.
some coaches will call it. Yeah, or PTs. Yep.
Uh,
So that's a
uh, push
bracing
your
then breathing.
gun, Sevy. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. Uh, all right. You do their under stuff, thank you, Christine. Their under stuff, right? Okay, then well, no wonder I never fucking figured out how to use a belt. Yeah, I thought you just cinched that thing and it did all the work for you.
Right. Yeah. And then the other most common thing would be people put it on and they don't push against it at all. They draw their abs in, maybe like they're doing yoga or Pilates, or
Yeah.
gymnastics, right? Sucking in. That's the opposite of what you want to lift weights. So you want to create that tension in your core, and then you want to breathe to fill it up and push out against that belt hard through the whole range of motion. So
All
that was
right.
one of the big things. So next time you're in New Jersey, Sebby, I'll help you out, teach you.
Uh, um, I've never seen in all the years of social media and YouTube, I've never seen a video pop up in my algorithm anywhere how to use a weight belt ever.
Yeah, so Squat University, great page, great resource for any CrossFit coaches.
Yeah.
He does have a couple videos that I follow him and check out most of his videos. So that's a good place that if people want to go and see that, or if you want to check it out, you can definitely scroll his feed and see some posts about that. Um, I mostly learned about it from he's not super big, but Coach Michael Ban. He was out at OPEX in Arizona. I went to one of his movement seminars. Um, Super smart coach that I worked with off and on over the years. And then also the Kabuki strength guy. So Chris Duffin, I think he's kind of moved on from powerlifting stuff, but I went to one of their seminars and also they were really big on that. And then, I watched him do like a deficit RDL with 845 pounds for 3 or something, you know, and I was like, cool, I'm trying to not hurt my back deadlifting 315, but yeah, so,
Holy
but
shit.
those guys are strong, but him and all his coaches were very, very good. They had a whole seminar and certification system as well, but some really good information through those guys as well. The Kabuki strength system was good. Trying to think where else.
Uh, uh, that's crazy, that number you said.
Yeah, I mean, powerlifters they're specialists. They're so strong at what they do.
Wow, nuts. Um, your brother in Florida introduces you to it. And how long before you get the idea to take your level one?
Not long. So I started CrossFit during the Open in 2012, and I had no idea what was going on. Everybody was just talking about how they had just done 7 minutes of burpees, and I didn't even know what a burpee was just yet. And I took my level one at Reebok CrossFit One with Austin and James Hobart.
Awesome.
Ben Bergeron showed up with Katrin. Hobart's mom was actually in my first level one. There was like
That's
60
awesome.
60 plus people. It was a massive level one, but that was November. It was Black Friday weekend. So I had my Thanksgiving dinner, and the next morning I drove 6 to 7 hours up to Boston because it was the only one that wasn't sold out that I could get to that soon because level one sold out quick back then. So spent the weekend up there, got my level one. I was already interning at the gym before that to start coaching. So
And how was that?
it was a great experience. That was like, I mean, I feel like most people have like a few things that they remember as like pivotal moments in their life, and I feel like I remember that level one more than like just trying CrossFit or starting CrossFit because I feel like it was just kind of overwhelming. But then like taking my level one that first weekend, I was obsessed. I cared. I was stressed that I was going to not pass the test because I knew. I think I just kind of knew like this is the direction that I wanted to go. Um, with I wanted to try to coach for a while, and see if I could make it work to make a living there. But it was, having that experience. I remember watching Hobart and Maliello do they did 30 snatches at 185, 30 ring muscle ups, and 30 clean and jerks at 225 at lunch. And I just was like mind blown because I was maybe
Wow.
like 150 pounds at that time and just like super weak. So it was just crazy watching that.
When you how far out were you from your, collegiate tennis, experience at that time?
Yeah, so I played 2 years because I played at county college, so probably 4 or 5 years. So I
Okay.
fell out of sh was in crazy good shape playing a college sport, and I probably took 2 years off and just played in bands and partied and fell super out of shape, and then I could barely run a mile one day, and my legs were screaming, and I just used to be able to run 5 miles like it was nothing. Just didn't 5,
Mm.
8-minute miles, no big deal when I was in college. Um, and then that's when I started running. I got into kinda like Spartan race, Tough Mudder, like obstacle course races. Um, was doing a bunch of those just for like, to have something on the calendar, to have like a game day, thing. And then once I found CrossFit though, that was it. Ever since then, that's been the main thing for sure.
What, this is very self-serving. My kids spend a lot of time on the tennis court,
Yeah.
have spent a lot of time on the tennis court. What do you think about, tennis as a sport and as a, my kids have been playing since they've been 4, and they still have what the funny thing is even my 11-year-old has still never played a full game of tennis. He's never played all 5, I don't know what you call them even,
Sets. Yeah.
sets. Yeah.
Hmm.
It is I don't think people realize what a crazy demanding sport it is, and that lateral movement is just nuts.
Yeah, I think for young kids, it's great. I mean, I program for our gym. I just had us doing some rotational med ball throws this week because there's just no rotation in CrossFit.
Mhm.
So it's a beneficial thing
Unless you're at
for health.
RDT CrossFit, then there is
Already
rotational
take,
movement. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, but tennis is it's run there's sprinting and stopping over and over and over again, changing direction. So the athleticism required is very high. Rotation, timing, coordination, there's huge power development on a serve. That was I was actually I always tell people like I wasn't very good at tennis. I in college I played first doubles, but I didn't make the singles lineup because I could serve really hard and I wasn't afraid to get blasted in the face of the net. So I was really aggressive at the net. That's all I was good at. So I was singles. I was just not good at strategy. Just like not a very good tennis player. So it was funny. Like it worked. I mean, I was in crazy good shape because I just would play hours a day and could just run and run. And it definitely built up a lot of cardio, long, cardio,
It's
along with,
crazy cardio. I don't think people realize that. It's like I
yeah,
mean, I know there's no weight on you, but every time you move, it's like a max effort.
yeah, yeah. So, and that's part of it is I think I used to run too hard where you have
Mhm.
to strategize and pace, where I would just sprint as hard as I could first point until I just burn out, and then um, I would fizzle out over the course of matches. I would be that player who could come out and get up a couple of games, and then I would lose because I just ran out of steam. But I also probably ate like crap, and my sleep. Who knows what it was back then? I didn't know anything about nutrition or recovery or sleep or anything like that. So, but I think just for the physical benefits for your kids, I think it's great. Like it's you're hitting a ton of things. I feel like it's better than getting your kids to be just a pitcher in baseball and do too many reps of throwing. At least you have all the other movement, you have all the running in there, strategy, the mental side of things. That can be hard too, but there's some good lessons there for sure.
We do a ton of Paul what's a Paulo
Pull off
press?
press. Yeah,
Paul
so
I don't even know what that is.
you can be standing with a band going laterally out to the side, and you're
Mhm.
going to hold it at your belly button and drive straight out. So the band's
Oh,
pulling
okay.
laterally, and trying to break your core, and you're trying to fight and hold a neutral core. So really good core stability and pelvic floor exercise as well.
Yeah, this is cool. Our owner just had her 2nd baby, so we do a ton of pelvic floor core work because she knows it's all good for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. I mean, there's a baby boom at our gym, and our one coach, Patty, she specializes in working with women who are pregnant and postpartum. So she's a huge resource for our members that are pregnant or after they have a baby. So we're very lucky to have that as well at our gym.
Do you know what that means if there's a baby boom at your gym?
Something in the water. Yeah.
Yeah, that means 9 months ago, there was a mating boom.
Right. Well, it's been for years now. It's just
I'm a
like,
scientist, I know cause and
yeah,
effect.
there you go.
Um, do you did you are you watching the, I think it's the Australian Open that's going on. We watched it last night in the house. Did you get a chance to watch any of it?
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of like get my wife will tell you I go super hard and I get obsessed with things and then I
Yeah,
kind of fizzle out. So if I see tennis on, it's in the background, I'll just kind of half watch it, but
yeah,
I'm just obsessed with CrossFit and that's what I pay attention to. So in my free time or my screen time, we try not to have like stuff on the TV when our son is awake, which is most of the day.
yeah.
And it's just when I have free time, if I'm in the car, I'm catching up on CrossFit podcasts, the CrossFit training channel or the CrossFit channel lately. They have like level 4 coaches teaching stuff. So a little bit of development, Sevan barbell spin for my entertainment, easy listening. That's really all I'm consuming. I don't necessarily follow many pro sports anymore, except
Gotcha.
CrossFit.
Well, we watched a little bit of the Australian Open last night, and Alcaraz was playing, and it is
Yeah.
not
Uh,
it is I never gave tennis a chance until my kids played it, and it was nuts. He is nuts.
Yeah, the new generation is crazy. I grew up with Federer and Roddick and Nadal came in, which was an amazing era. I saw the end of like Agassi and Sampras, but then like Djokovic came in and kind of started to change the game. And then now this new class of guys. I don't know all the names, but man, they're all impressive. They're very very fit. They're different. They're different
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
they tried crazy shots. I couldn't believe how many drop shots I was seeing last night, how much gamesmanship there is, how much strategy. Alcaraz's strategy is crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, you take your level 1 and you knew at that time you wanted to do coaching.
Yep. Yeah, I talked to the owner of that gym. They asked me like, what do you want to do here? I think they saw I was like young and obsessed and getting my level 1. I said, well, I want to, coach here. That's what I want to try to do. So the owner said, yeah, okay, we can work on that. Um, so probably I was there for just shy of 5 years at that gym. Growing, as the gym grew and gaining knowledge and gaining experience. So right out of the gates, I had talked to the owner about it, and it was something that we had aligned on, and we were working towards, creating a full time job for me.
Okay. People keep talking about this Pauloff press. Let me show this thing really
Oh
quick
yeah,
'cause I don't think I've ever seen this. Let me see if
yeah.
I
So
can,
there's a tall kneeling Paul off press. You could have one leg up for a half kneeling. You can do it standing, but this would be tall kneeling. Yeah, here you go. Here. This would be good for you, Savvy, to help with your back and practice your bracing. So while
Oh,
you're doing the pull off press, you actually would want to practice that bracing while you're doing this.
yeah, okay.
Otherwise, you might feel pulling. If you have a really strong band, you might feel pulling in your low back, or like the band wants to twist you towards that post that it's tied to. So it's actually a great way for you to practice your bracing too.
Okay, and I guess you could rotate from there too.
You can, yeah. So once you're all the way out and extended with a little bit less pressure, you can rotate away, or go back towards and rotate back to the middle. You can do lots of variations as well.
Alright, there it is, the Pauloff press. Now we've all seen it. Now I know. And it would be good for my back. Greg would
Yes.
hate that. I don't know. I don't think Greg would hate that. Would Greg hate that? Why would he hate that?
it's a great warm up. Like you could use a warm up in class. Obviously, it wouldn't be in a metcon. You should not be doing pull off press for time or anything.
Pitchers and boxers do this all the time. Yeah, I could definitely see,
Hmm.
boxers doing this. You know what I, do with, my kids a lot, at least once a week, is I put them walking backwards on the air runner, and I get 2 tennis balls, and we throw back and forth 50 times, right and left-handed, and then
Yeah.
I put 1 pound, uh, weights on their wrist, and we do 50, and then we do 2 pounds, and then we do 3 pounds. And the reason why I do that is because in their fighting, to trick them to spend time with their hands up like this. And I tell them that when they have to keep their hands here, and I throw the ball high, so they're like this the entire time. And so they're getting this burn and this work without even knowing it, as
Yep.
opposed to just having them do like lateral raises or any shit like that. I just put weights on the ends of their wrists and just have them throw the ball right and left handed while they're walking backwards.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
that's
a
great.
great
That's
it's a great way to trick a kid.
Yeah, huge coordination and eye-hand coordination work, and then also we have a really, we have a former world champion jujitsu, fighter at our gym. He's older and retired now, but, he, is super internally rotated and is
Yeah,
now dealing with a lot of shoulder problems from all those years. Someone's trying to rip your arm off and you're trying to squeeze in. So
yep.
a big thing for him, or a lot of people doing that, is to make sure you work on the back side of your shoulders and externally rotate, and strengthen, make sure that you're not getting too tight in your pecs and biceps and chest and everything.
It's crazy that you say that because, 2 of my sons have gotten into all 3 of them have gotten into gymnastics, but 2 of them are really into, like, back handsprings and going backwards and putting and handstands and all of these things, and my oldest son, who is not like that, yesterday, I was having him do, I don't know what you call it, I guess you call it a barbell complex, deadlift, power clean, hang squat clean, thruster to the front, and then thruster to the back, and that's one. Well, I don't know,
Like
and,
a bear complex.
like, is that bear complex? Okay.
Yeah, similar.
And, he doesn't wanna lower the bar behind his back because of his shoulders, and I can't even fathom that. Like, the bar like, he's so tight in his shoulders, the bar doesn't wanna come back down behind his head.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. And you said he is doing lots of jujitsu and fighting?
I mean, so much, it's just tennis and fighting and skateboarding. Even skateboarding, you're kind of hunched over. You ever seen Rodney Mullen walk around?
Mhm.
He looks like one of those men on the evolutionary scale. He's all, like, hunched over and shit.
Yeah, caveman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
definitely some work on the back of the shoulder, the upper back for sure. Definitely be
yeah.
a good focus.
Yeah, and he can't even he doesn't he can't even bridge unless he's warmed up. You know, the bridge when you're backwards? He can't even bridge
Yep.
unless he's warmed up for, like, he has to be soaked in sweat.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be some thoracic mobility as well, the upper back. So there's definitely some stuff you could trick him into doing that's, warm-ups and exercises to help with that for sure.
Yeah, open that up. Did you have that problem when you started?
CrossFit?
Yeah.
Oh, so I was, like 25, 30 pounds lighter and, like less muscle. I was super weak, so I had really good flexibility. I could probably overhead squat with my hands together overhead, because of playing tennis,
Right, okay.
and but I was super weak, so I could not move a lot of weight. So I had all the flexibility, kind of the opposite of what a lot of people experience when they come into CrossFit because they're not starting in their 20s.
Right.
But I was extra mobile, but very weak. So I had more of like a stability and strength issue that I needed to build up and work on early on in CrossFit.
Yeah, his tennis looks so different than everyone else's, my oldest son, because he's so tight, and the instructor's always on him with his serve, like he's not getting his hand back far enough.
Yeah. And it could just be his anatomy too. It just depends on, you know, where it's at.
Rambler, here, you get one thing. Anyone have issues with external rotation with the front barbell squat resting on the collarbone?
Yeah. So the front rack, there's a couple pieces that go into that. Like one is they can just do like a wrist test and just see if they can get to 90 passively, or you can have someone push your own hands together. If you can
There's
get to
people who
90,
can't do this?
they can't. And then so the wrist, they probably have like wrist pain or they feel like they hit their end range right there. possibly like extreme pulling or pain in the wrist.
Yeah.
Then the next piece is to take your knuckles and see if you can curl and touch the top of your shoulder. But again, you could have a coach. So yeah, Savvy, you're pretty good on that. I can get there if like someone pushes a little bit and without pain as well. So it's good to have someone else to help you with that. But you can kind of see like your knuckles are in, like you want to get your elbow in to be able to rotate. So that rotation of the forearm can sometimes be a limiter for people. And then the third piece is to take that your upper, try to have that knuckle to your shoulder, take your forearm up. And if you can't get your upper arm towards your ear, then it's more so going to be maybe a shoulder restriction there. So if it's the knuckles to the shoulder, it could be something more in your elbow, forearm, bicep, tricep restriction. If it's that first piece, it could be a wrist and forearm issue. If it's the upper arm up, it's more of a shoulder and maybe something in the shoulder complex area. That's an issue there. So it can be hard to diagnose, and then it can take months to work on and get back that flexibility. But that could maybe help whoever that
I lo
was.
I feel like, because of my massive world-class lats that I've lost over the years from so much pooling, I've lost a little bit of, like, I mean, I feel something always in my basically everything I do, I feel something in my lats. I mean, it's not doesn't bother me, but I've definitely lost something here. I feel like
Yeah,
is the limiting factor now.
I feel like I had a couple years where I wasn't training as much. I was coaching with a really long commute, and when I kind of got back into training again, I had lost a little bit of my overhead mobility and front rack, which I was telling
Uh-huh.
you was like that was one of my like things. I was
Yep,
just weak. I didn't need to work on flexibility. So
yep.
something that helped me was on all my front squat work, maybe not in a workout, but like thrusters off the rack or my front squats. I was trying to close my hand down as much as I could to basically build some mobility into my strength sets as well, and that definitely has helped over the last few years of just trying to like hold the front rack, even though, in a workout, I'm going to open my hand
Yeah,
and
yeah.
relax my grip. When I'm doing like a 5x5 front squat, I'm going to try to hold a tighter grip than I need. Um, and just over the course of doing that a couple times a month, all year for years on end, it's helped to come back, most of that flexibility.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that, but when I started CrossFit, I had an insane front rack and I could fully
Hmm.
grab the bar. And now as I've gotten older, yeah, I've started letting go of the bar.
Yeah, and it's something that and you may never get back to where you were because we lose muscle mass, we lose some flexibility as we age, but, just like doing CrossFit to maintain your muscle, you can also do some things to maintain your ranges of motion as well, while you're training for sure.
Yeah, and thank God there's dumbbells, right?
Yep. Yeah, always good. If someone has a real injury or a joint injury and they can't get into that position, we have a safety bar at our gym. It's the padded bar that goes around the shoulders that you can hold in the back rack. You can also put it on the front of your shoulders. There's videos that help with that. If that sounds weird, but also, yeah, dumbbells for sure for workouts are great as well.
What are your duties at the gym? It says you're the head coach there. So what are your duties at the gym?
Yeah, so I mean, being a full-time CrossFit coach is tough. I feel like I'm like a unicorn anymore. There's just not a lot of me around. So over the years, I've had to do a little bit of everything. But at currently at RET, I'm our nutrition coach. I coach like 12 to 14 classes a week. I meet with new members. We do these new member success meetings to help set them up for their first 90 days and make sure that their onboarding goes smoothly. I teach our foundations slash on ramp class, whatever you want to call that. I do a lot of the one on one skill sessions for people who want to, improve or attain a skill or get better at the bar muscle up or some lifting. Right now, I'm running a series of winter workshops. So it's basically a skill session for a small group that we're doing on Saturdays. So I have one tomorrow morning on snatches. Last week was toast to bar. I program another program called Perform, which has been a really great solution to like the competitive CrossFit issue that a lot of gyms run into. So that's been really great for us. Is it's usually each season we do like 3 months at a time. Um, has been like between 15 and 20 people that sign up. So we give them 9 extra training pieces a week. Most people do like 3 to 5 of them. So if they come to the gym 3 days a week, they usually do one extra thing when they're there to help themselves improve. So there's 9 extra pieces. You get 3 gymnastics, 3 weightlifting, 3 monostructural,
Mhm.
and there's tiered approaches to say toes to bar. I'll give 3 options for the drills that we're working on based on their skill level. Um, so it's like a small group programming. They do it before their class. They still have to take our group class and be a part of the community, but that's been a really awesome addition that we've had in the last year at RET. Um,
You are
so a little bit of
busy.
everything. Yeah, yeah. So
What
full
about
time coach.
admin? Do you do admin?
Yeah, so that's like most of the, I guess, front facing stuff that I do. I also program for the gym, so that's kind of admin and front facing. But then back end, every week I meet with. We have a meeting with our full time staff. So myself, the owner Dave, our coach Zeus. He's more in the. He does all of our like meetings with new members to get them in the door if they're interested in the gym. And he does our social media. So a lot of my posts are the thanks to Zeus's guidance. He's really great with that stuff, better than I am for sure. And then we have another coach, Chris, who sits in on the meetings, just retired from the Air Force, and he's kind of like our facilities manager, right? Anything that needs to get done with the physical building, the equipment, the location, he's the guy for that stuff too. So we kind of all have our own roles. And then Dave, as the owner, is kind of like the vision, the direction. He kind of gives us that like what we're going to work on. We get together, we figure out what everybody needs to do for the week, and then we go get shit done. Um, is the idea there? So the back end stuff, whatever needs to be done, but mine are largely on like I work a lot on the I guess like new member experience. With the other full-time coaches as well, but kind of like helping people with their first 90 days and making sure they're having a good time and sticking with us or overcoming any issues they might have, like or challenges in those early days, for sure.
How many members are at the gym?
Uh, every now and then I'll get an update, but somewhere around 220, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people.
hmm
You said did you say in the last 5 years the gym has doubled?
Yeah, I think when I started, we were a little over 100. I know I'm not sure if I have the numbers right, but somewhere maybe around 115 before COVID, and then when they reopened before I was there, they were dropping into, like, the 70s or 80s. Again, the numbers might not be totally right. So then when I came on board, we were probably, again, just a little over 100. Um, and then in the spring of 2021, there was, like, a second CrossFit boom, like the 2014 boom, because everybody was starving for in-person interaction after being locked up and away for a whole year. So we kind of blew up to the 150, 160 zone during that. And then we kind of held steady for a while there. And then probably in the last year and a half or 2 years, we brought on our other coach, Zeus, and we've done more like internet ads and marketing. And we added those new sit downs with prospective members. And then we do those success meetings. So we've focused a lot more on like letting people know that we're here, on the internet, and then also helping and nurturing those people in those first 90 days, because that's where people are most likely to just not stick with it and not stay with your gym there. So now our members, we have a really good retention rate at our gym for sure, because we try to set them up for success, keep them in there, and we also try to the extra programs and the events and the experience like our open, our intramural open. That's why I reached out to you is we get really good open signups for not being like a 500, 400 person gym. That's like huge for our members retention. People talk about it all year and they're just super excited for the open.
I'm starting to think that open signups are kind of also a community score. Like gyms that have high open signups, that's a signifier that they have a strong community, that everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. We decided 3 or 4 years ago that we were going to run an intramural open. They had done it a couple years prior and then it went away. And
What does that mean?
uh,
Intramural open, what does that mean?
So we split the gym up into 4 teams.
Okay.
We have 2 members that are the captain of each team, so we don't use our coaches, because, every day people come into the gym and our coaches encourage them to do more when they should and, or to try to, like, improve on something, to teach them something, and that coach to client relationship is there, but then they're not always used to listening to a fellow member and one of their peers lead them in a group there. So we use 2 gym members um, who volunteer to be captains, throw the name in the hat. We randomize them and pick them out. So each team has a pair. It's nice that there's 2. They share the load because these captains do a lot during the intramural open for their team. Then all our members sign up before our draft. Our draft's coming up on February 6th, and we do. reverse open signups for draft,
So
which is
someone
when the
like me would get picked last just like I did in high school? There'd be
so how
and the
many
whole gym would know?
how many opens have you registered for, Sebby?
On 3.
3. So you'd be
Yeah.
in probably the 2nd or 3rd round. If it's your first open, you're the first round pick. If it's your 2nd or 3rd, depends on how many
Oh, I
people.
like that. So, like, shitty
Mhm.
CrossFitters like me can hide. We don't get humiliated. Okay, okay.
Well, you could be at what are we on? You 15 or 16 opens? Like, if you had signed up for every open since they started, so our owner Dave has done every single one. I'm on my
Wow.
14th, I guess. So, like, we're in the last group. So we're in the final round. It's like everybody
Okay,
around
okay.
5 or 6
I
plus is
like
the
that, I
last
like
one.
that, I like that, alright.
Mhm.
I was getting picked after girls in high school when they'd pick teams. I was like, "God, this is bad."
Yeah, you'd be like 2nd, 3rd round. So you'd be
Okay,
good pick.
good. Alright,
Yeah.
alright, alright, good, I love it. Okay,
Gotta work
sorry,
on
so
your
go ahead. So they do the draft, and everyone
Yep.
gets picked, and then everyone's hyped, and so they're bought in. They don't wanna let their team captain down, they don't wanna let their team down.
Correct. Yeah. So then, once there's nothing pre-open that they have to do necessarily except for plan because we do so each week a team can earn points a bunch of different ways. Main 3 categories are going to be they do the workout and put their score in the leaderboard, which doesn't sound like a lot to ask, but that makes a big difference for teams sometimes. They wear their team color, so each team gets a color. We do red, black, gray, and white because red and black are the gym colors, and gray and white are like the complementary ones. Um, and then they participate in our Friday Night Lights event, which is huge. We run heats a lot of times from like 3:30 or 4 p.m. until about 9 p.m. at night, depending on the workout duration that Dave spits out for us. Sometimes it's a little bit long of an evening, but so that's the main 3 points that a person can earn each week. We do a bonus challenge. So this year we're going to do our costume challenge for the second time. So the team picks a theme, they dress up for the first Friday Night Lights, and they take a picture in front of a backdrop that we have, and then we have I find some judges that are not announced, so secret judges, um, so people
Your
can't
y
pay them off.
your son?
Right, yeah, my son for sure. He could be a judge. Hold his point. But the team with the most votes, they get a bunch of bonus points. The next team down, and they get ranked. So that's a way for a team to earn a lot of bonus points, a big chunk. And then we give out. So week 1 this year, the top 10 men's RX scores and the top 10 women's RX scores will also get a bonus points. There's a whole bunch of ways to earn points, but those 3 main points they're really participation based. We want you to show up Friday night if you can, wear your team color, put your score into the game's website. That's what you need to do for your team, and that's it. And if people go on vacation, we give them double points if they do it while they're traveling and they're away. So even people who try to get out of it for vacation, then they become more valuable players.
Right, that's awesome. All those years at HQ and only 3, I don't know how many I've done. I do know that most years I only signed up because, Dave made me. I would get a text, "Hey, the dipshit, sign up for the open, you work here." I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, oh, yeah." Man, I was busy. I had excuses. I had excuses. Um, and how many people did you get to sign up last year for the open?
Yeah, so we were a little over 160.
That's
And we
crazy.
had a few less members, so it was somewhere around 80% of our gym.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, Brian Spin just posted last night or this morning a poll: what percentage of your gym members sign up? So I responded, and he got back to me right away because I said 80%, and he said, "How?" And then I, gave him a little explanation, and he said, "I'm seeing 10, 20, and 30." That's what everybody's responding. So it's definitely not the norm to get 80% of your gym to sign up, but it's just something that it's a huge part of our culture at our gym now. People take pride in our open signups. Last year, people were like, all the community, our members are encouraging members to sign up. It's not the owners and the coaches that are encouraging people anymore. The members want everybody to be a part of it. It's just kind of taken on a life of its own. The first year, the coaches, the owner, we had to really push it, but now that it's just kind of gone viral amongst our community for sure.
It's interesting. I've been talking to all these affiliate owners and head coaches, and it's so odd. There's a continuity between you all, and I'm looking for it, that you guys all have care about the people in the gym, and that's like just I can just hear it in the way you talk. That's like number one, like points of contact, offerings for people in the gym. It's like That's what it is, offerings for people in the gym and points of contact, and that's what you guys are good at.
Yeah, I mean, so, aside from the open, we have a host of other events that we do. We have like one of our members runs a dad wad for dad bod event. So it's like a little spinoff from Jason Kalipa's new kind of venture where he's got a men's group that's kind of going viral. And that's been great. But we're giving our members things to come out to. We do a bring a friend day during the warmer months. We have like a former member who runs a coffee truck who comes and sets up. We do an in-house competition in the fall, our fall brawl event. We host an open to the public RX competition called Deuces Wild every summer as well. So we just try to give people things to come out to, like the draft that's coming up on February 6th for our gym is open to our members. They can come in and watch the draft. So we kind of make an event out of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Week 2 is Jeopardy trivia. So the team, they have two people that throw their, represent their team and come in. And I have a little Jeopardy um, uh, software that I put up on the screen and quiz them on crazy, weird Jeopardy CrossFit knowledge that I know. Um,
Is
kind of
it
like,
around movements or people or just it could be anything?
so yeah, we do. Last year, there was a category. Like I definitely stole a lot from Chase from Get with the Programming. Like a category about the level one. Like so, maybe they have a coach be one of their people that's
Okay.
representing. Although we have a lot of members who've taken their level one. One about CrossFit Games athletes. One about our CrossFit RDT history. So some trivia about our specific gym. And then I think I had one about girls wads, and there was one more category, but it'll be different this year. But just like general CrossFit knowledge down to like things only a longtime member at our gym would know, and the really expensive categories where I was trying to stump even like Dave, the owner of our gym, to try to get him to not be able to answer some of the questions, with some of the stuff like that. So yeah, just giving people.
What kind of toilet paper did we switch to this last year? Like that could be a big money one?
Oh right, yeah, yeah, and then yeah, only the coaches would know that, but yeah. Um, But yeah, just giving them something to go to. But I mean, I think the typical saying is like people don't care how much you know until they know you care, which
Oh,
is I think for
I
new
haven't heard
coaches
that. That's
especially.
good.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I hear it everywhere, but it just could be my algorithm. But like, I think as new coaches or CrossFit coaches in general, we're always obsessed, or at least I feel like. So Bill Grunler was on Barbell Spin yesterday or Wednesday, and I was listening to his takes about struggling to find coaches. I think they had Spin put up a poll for affiliate owners. What's the biggest thing that is a threat to your affiliate this year? And he talked about the top five. And then Bill kind of had his own take that his biggest challenge this year was coaches. He couldn't find coaches. He can't find coaches
Mm,
to stick with it. And I remember, I started in 2012. I drove 7 hours, 6.5 hours to my level one on Thanksgiving weekend when I could have
mm,
been, I guess, out at the bar drinking or whatever. So I
yeah.
spent it sleeping in a hotel and hanging out with Austin and James in a gym and just like, it's coaches were hungry. I went and got my level two for the first time in the middle of a blizzard, and our car slid backwards down a hill. Like we were going. We didn't care that there was a blizzard coming. Like we went anyway because like we were just obsessed and starving for new knowledge. But I think, which is great. I don't know that I see that out of just the general like aspiring
Yeah,
coach like
yeah,
culture anymore.
yeah.
But I think that the ones that are still like that was all I did that almost to a fault. Like I was definitely a certificate or certification junkie and the knowledge junkie. And I thought if I just get that next certification, if I just learn that next thing and I can help Sevi learn how to brace better, then I'm going to be a more successful coach. And it's great that I'm able to help you learn how to, use a weight belt or improve your front rack or, whatever. Um, but you have to be able to make a living doing it, which is, that's where I was saying earlier, I feel like I'm a unicorn. Like in my small little ecosystem here, all the full-time coaches I've known are gone. They've all come and gone. People come
Uh-huh.
in and they leave.
Yeah.
Minus, the folks at our gym now are the only ones that I know personally that I believe, there's gym owners, right? Obviously they're technically full-time coaches, but non-owner full-time coaches are a rarity. At my first level two, there was a bunch of, it was 2014. I drove to that one. Um, but then my most recent one, I went to Massachusetts in 2023, I think, and there were 0 other full-time coaches. There were, like, 2 or 3 gym owners, and everybody were, like less than 2 to 4 years of experience at the level two, and they were, they went around the room and they asked you how many classes a week you coach, and it was two, it was six, it was one, it was five, and they got to me and I said 17, and everybody just kind of turned and looked, and
Yeah.
Larry, who was running it, was like, "You're a full time coach," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, there's not enough of you around anymore." So I'm like, "Okay, the level one staff, they don't see it." So it's you have to you have to care, obviously, and you have to have enough knowledge to be able to help people, but you also, definitely a way that I think I try to like talk to other coaches about it is like you have to be a business owner. Like I got into full time coaching because I realized early on in my 20s I didn't want to own a gym. I did not want to be a business owner. The finance, the overhead, tracking and buying toilet paper, like all that stuff. I was like, no, I want to coach and help people. So I got to find a gym where I can do that. And then the owner is the one who's savvy and smart in that stuff. But what I've learned over time is I have to run my own business. Coach Sean, I have to advertise myself in the gym to our members, and I have to let them know that I care. Hopefully they trust me, that I know enough to be able to help them. Um, and you have to be a different type of business owner. You won't own a physical location with overhead and brick and mortar, but you have to treat it if you want to be a full-time coach, or even I think just a successful part-time coach, I guess. If you just want to get the most out of it, you have to in class, I have you in my class, Sevi, you come over, we're doing deadlift day and your back looks like a question mark and you're tightening your belt as tight as you can and it looks like you're trying to cut off circulation to your legs. And I'd be like, "Hey man, you ever use a belt before? Anyone ever teach you how to use a
The
belt?" And you
caring
say,
is the caring is, the caring is noticing it.
"Yeah, I
Is
noticed
is
that." And
not
then
being in your head and being outside, giving like, not being Sean and
yeah,
just being an instrument of perception, right? That's the
yeah.
caring part.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
asking you if you've ever been taught, and then if you
right.
say no, and I give you a little bit of a tip, and I watch your next rep, and it still looks like dog shit, we're gonna take weight off the bar. And I'm gonna be
Yeah,
like, "Hey, you know what? Would you be interested in doing a skill session or some extra training? And I can
yeah,
help you out with that, right?" Like, and you're
yeah,
like, "Yeah, you know what? My back always hurts. I would really be interested in that." So I think
yeah.
most coaches are too scared to ask that, whether it's like fear of
You think they're too
rejection or
scared or they're just not paying attention, they don't give a
they
shit?
yeah, they might not be paying attention. They might not know that they should be asking. But then even
Yeah,
ones who do, or like coaches that I've helped, at our gym and other gyms that ask about like how I make it work, and how I've survived basically, I guess, since 2012 doing this. It's like, hey, you can't be scared to be rejected. What's the worst? Sevi says, no, I don't want to do it. Okay, that's fine. Like, I'll help you in class and then we'll move on. I don't care if you say no. I mean, I'd love to help you. Like, absolutely, that would be rewarding for me as well. But if you aren't up for it, that's okay. Like, there's a ton of other people that I can help at this gym, as well.
let
So
this, I remember one time Greg told me, I've told this story a million times, but we saw a guy ride by. We were in Denmark, and we saw a guy ride by with a bicycle with a boom box blaring on in the basket of his bike, and he goes, "Oh, that's a failed mating strategy." So I started looking at the whole world as just everyone's doing their mating strategy, and it was it's to this day it's so fun to look at the world like that because it's hilarious the shit you see. You know what I mean? Oh,
yeah,
that guy dyed his hair purple. That's part of his mating strategy. That's interesting. I wonder what he's trying to attract. And now you're saying this thing to me, which I've never heard, and it's interesting. You've said hear it all over the place. People don't care how much you know unless first they know how much you care.
hmm
And um, the two things I think about that is obviously my kids know how much I care, but kids reach a point where like they don't want to hear any more shit from their parents, right? But I had this fighter on the other day who's going to be a UFC world champion, Curtis Campbell from the UK, absolute freak of nature, undefeated. And his whole thing was, and then you threw this word in there, you slipped this word in there. He trusts his parents. So care
hmm
turns to when you know someone cares, you start to trust them.
yeah,
And he still takes advice from his parents like at 23. His dad's on his coaching staff. And that's like a huge that's huge. And I wonder like not to get too squirrely but here, but that's the thing I think maybe in even in politics or our leaders out there, if you think that they actually care, it's easier to trust them.
Yeah, I
And if
think
you don't think they care, um, like you just have your own axe, like someone just has their own axe to grind. They're just trying to use you as a to prove a point. Then you don't um like you see it all the time. There's parents who have their ego behind their kids' um performance, and that's not caring, as opposed to actually caring and building
yeah, I
trust.
think that's, uh, care first, help most. That's like another just like good cheesy mantra, but I mean, like that's a good one that coaches
Say that one
can
again.
lead with.
Care for
Care
what was?
first, help
Uh-huh.
most, right? So yeah,
Utmost.
you're there to do no harm. You don't want people to, get hurt in your class, right? You got to care, you got to give a shit. Like that's it, when we've had people that approach us and they want to be coaches at our gym or they're thinking about getting their level 1 and they just feel like they don't know enough, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
if you're the right type of person, like that's what we want to start with when we find
Yeah.
our coaches at our gym.
Yeah.
It's that you care, number 1, for sure, and then, like, personality and whatever, and we can teach you the rest. We can teach you how to squat and deadlift and press. That's not a big deal. Um, but I think, to you said, like, that trust that he trusts his parents, trust is
Yeah.
earned. Not
Yeah.
everybody trusts their parents,
Right. Right.
or, like, other people in their life, but I think that that's, with, like, gyms or coaches that are struggling with, getting through to members, longtime members who are there forever who don't seem to like listen or aren't receptive to cueing. Like they've kind of maybe lost trust in their coaches or whatever as they're the leaders of the community and the individual class. Like trust is earned. You can get it back too. As a coach, you can just
Yeah.
change the way you're coaching, get some new knowledge, change the way you run your class. But that could definitely be something that gyms where retention is not good or whatever. Like I would like to think that our members hopefully, trust us and that's why they keep showing up. And, if we don't know the answer, we generally will say, I don't know, let's go find out together, and I'll go search YouTube and find an answer for them. And, I have trying to help someone with a muscle up workshop, can't help that person, can't figure it out. One of the first things I'm doing is going back to YouTube, looking up some drills, some different drills, give that person more variety. I need more tools in my toolbox to help this person and everybody else in the future, so it's just building that trust, a follow-up after a member rolls their ankle, you shoot them a message and see where they're at, like not everybody does that, not every business does that, but the little things like that, caring, trust, that's big.
This is an interesting comment. Sean has zero fear of rejection. We ghost his text, and then he uh, manages to teach you something, and somehow you're signing up for the next season or comp. That's
Yep,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing personal, right? People have lives, and
Yeah.
you're just trying to reach
Every
out to them.
every season of Perform, I just have a list of every person who's ever signed up. I message every person individually, so it's a generic message. I'm sure they know, but I send it in there. Sometimes I personalize it and throw inside jokes I have with people in there, so they know that I actually took the time to send it. Um, but yeah, then if they don't answer, and sometimes people don't answer, I send like 60 messages out, and I don't get a bunch of responses. So then when I see them in class, I bust their stones a little bit, and then yeah, it gets them to the it gets them to the next step. They're on the fence. So, having fun, knowing your members is definitely helpful.
Uh, Miss Heavy Lifts. Oh my God, the ego fight with some of my athletes is rough. I have a guy who tried overhead squatting 150-pound dumbbell, and it looked awful, but wouldn't bring the load down. So at the beginning of the workout, I just went over and switched it, and he thanked me
Switch
after.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, I mean, that's something that one of our newer coaches, Zeus, he's the man. He is like our pit bull, is what we call him. Like he's like our guard dog. And that's something that it might have actually been Souza who said it somewhere. Like pit bull mentality. Like when people walk in your gym, like or if you come to our gym, Sevi, you're not coming to RDT to do your workout and do whatever you want when you're there. You're taking my class. So like I'm in charge. We're gonna have fun. I'm not gonna be a dick, right?
Right.
But we're gonna have a good time. But you're not blowing your back out doing deadlifts in my class. Like I will take weight off your bar and like just put my foot down. Like hopefully you trust me. That's one thing for
Yeah.
sure. That when I say we're gonna take weight off the bar, sometimes I've done it before. We it happens. People are not happy about it. They give you that pushback, but it's one of those things like if you're going to be a coach, you're in the relationship business for sure. Yes, you're helping people with what they should eat and how they should move and workouts, and it's fun. But like people have good days, people have bad days. People tie their self worth to overhead squatting a 50-pound dumbbell, and you're going to have to talk them down to the important thing is the stimulus, moving well, longevity, whatever you can connect that movement to for.
Uh-oh, well, maybe you have to switch on the, gear. I lost you. AirPods died. One thing, I've learned as I've aged is I do less weight now in order to preserve movement integrity. Uh, I use less weight just because 'cause I'm
You able to hear me now, Heavy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Audio's still
alright.
good.
iPod
AirPods died.
iPods died, yeah.
Alright,
Sorry
good.
about
That means I'm keeping you on a good amount of time. That's good.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you
Your
have
audio is still amazing, by the way. Are you on a phone or a computer?
MacBook, yeah, but I
Oh,
moved it in
yeah.
closer,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, the audio is still
Hopefully it
great.
doesn't my son's playing in the other room, so hopefully you don't hear him, romping around.
No, it's great.
But, yeah, definitely just, connecting with that person, and, that's where hopefully in this just as an example, not necessarily this exact situation with lady heavy lifts, but, like, if you know something about that person, things that are going on in their life, like those connections, those that you have, those conversations you have in class, you know, it, it might be something going on. It has nothing to do with a 50-pound dumbbell overhead squat. But like you said, like you made that switch and then they thanked you afterwards because maybe they were just having a bad day and they were feeling stubborn, like they should just go for it. You came up and showed that you care.
He froze for me. Did he freeze for you guys?
It doesn't sound like a compliment.
You
Still there?
froze for a you froze for a second. You're back. You're back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. It was pinwheeling.
Oh, yeah, something's happened. Someone in your house turned on a
But yeah,
TV or something.
some you that sound. Uh, Still there?
Yeah. So all of a sudden your bandwidth got sucked down somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not sure what.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm as close as I can get.
Someone said video games are taking all the internet. Okay, you're back. What's crazy is your picture's still good. You just turned into a robot for a second. Hey, has it are you guys, do you guys think you'll break 160 this year for open signups?
We're hoping. The year, 2 years ago to last year, we had, a jump in our membership total, which definitely helped because just more people just means like more possible signups. If you can get, your experienced members, your members who don't have any like tough injuries.
Oh boy. The first hour and 15 were great.
It's just each year.
Damn, I'm losing you, Sean. Sean, how do you pronounce your last name? McAvinue? Sean McAvinue. Hey, Sean. I'm gonna kick you from the studio and try to come back in. Let's see if that helps. That was pretty bad, right? I'm a strength athlete and had to do 12 pounds for a single dumbbell overhead squat today. It was an ego hit, but as a coach, I have to lead by example, and I had to scale to complete it safely. 12 pounds? What are you, a weakling? How at 12 pounds? 12? I mean, 12 pounds. That's got to be a typo, right? 12? You should take an ego hit for that. Yeah, that's weak. Jeez Louise. Do I need to add them as an affiliate? I'm currently unaffiliated. Sean's kid definitely pulled the internet plug.
Okay. I did consider that he might have done that because he's in that room, but, I
How
just
old
put
is
a
he?
hotspot on my phone, so hopefully this works.
How
Now
how
we're
old
on
is
off my
he?
phone. He's 14 months old.
Oh, that's awesome. Is he
Yeah.
walking yet?
Just started like 2 weeks ago.
Oh
Just looks like
boy.
he's drunk walking around. It's great.
Hey, isn't it funny? When they learn to walk, you're kind of like, you see their brain capacity and you're like, dude, you have no business. Like, I just remember when my kids started walking, I'm like, you don't have the intellectual capacity to walk safely. Like,
Yeah.
it really is like giving someone the keys to a car who's drunk and never driven a car before. It's like, what the fuck is this mess? And they're just bumping into shit and falling down and walk up to stairs. I'm like, dude, don't you see that that's a 15-foot drop to the bottom there? Like, what?
Oh, yeah. He just
It's like
hits his
someone
head on everything right
slacklining.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Uh, but he's getting better every day. It's crazy to watch the development. So,
I remind my kids about this all the time. I wanna be like, "I have to tell you something. For a year, you fell 500 times a day. I shit you
yeah.
not." They're like, "Really?" I said, "Yes, 500." I remember one day counting, I walked you to a coffee shop and one of you fell 300 times. And I said, "So just imagine you push through that and now you walk great. You can push through any skill."
Mhm.
Because there's no other skill that's ever gonna be harder than walking. One of my kids is trying to learn the iron cross, and I said, "Hey, dude, just imagine you have to fail that 1,000 times
Yep.
to get to it." That's what the iron cross is. It's 1,000 oof,
Yep.
fails, right?
Measures.
Yeah, and
Do you
I
have the
said,
ring? Do you have the ring thing?
I
The power
said my
monkey
kids are
ring?
obsessed with rings. My
Did you
kids,
have
2 of my
the ring thing, power monkey
Oh, yeah,
harness?
where you put your forearm in. Oh, no, I did have
No.
one of those. It was with the pulleys and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I had that. I was trying to use that for me. It would just got too, like, messy in my garage, and then I got
Yeah.
those steel things where
Mhm.
they brace up on your forearm, but I think that they're so young, they're gonna get it just from, one of
Yeah.
my kids is already, like, planching Avi learned to muscle up, like, 4 days ago, and now he can do 5 strict and,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's playing I know, it's crazy. He's playing with the transition. He's on the rings just going, "Look it," back and forth just through the transition. So, they're
Oh,
kids.
there's one comment here, if you could pull up the one from Katie Dickerson here. Not
Sean
that one.
Let me read this one too. Sean's got an insane talent for being able to pinpoint the smallest details and is able to give pointers. He's really annoying. Oh, that wasn't nice. I made that up.
Yeah.
To improve a movement in a way that is digestible and easy to attack, hands down, the best coach. He also isn't talking low. He just has a soft lullaby voice, Sevon. I told him he missed his calling and bedtime stories. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kids audiobooks is my calling there. But the
Wow.
other one was, she said, "I hope he doesn't bring up his fantasy football win because I beat her in the RDT fantasy football league this year." So, yeah,
Do you have
if you
time to I would never think you would have time to watch football.
I don't, I just have a fantasy football team. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. All right. All right. Just all fantasy.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, I really
So you don't watch any do you watch any sports?
I'll put football on in the background, but again, I'm probably hanging with my son or doing work. So I'm not really sitting and watching, except for the CrossFit Games. That's probably the only thing that I like will
Right.
sit down and watch, diligently and make sure I'm paying attention. That's just my sport for sure.
That's your, guilty pleasure. I, I I was just a UFC guy, and then now somehow, football, because of Tyson Bagent, being a CrossFitter and his dad being one of my best friends. Now all of a sudden we've watched now 2 whole seasons of Chicago Bears games, and I've only seen him play twice. But it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Entertaining.
But it's
It's entertaining.
but it's worth it. What is the if you had to give advice to gyms to get people to sign up for the open, do you have any tips?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if they wanna take on the whole task of running an intramural open, I know, like, I remember last year, Taylor, like, at CrossFit Charlotte, they brought it back and they threw it all together. So, like, the first year, like, version 1 is better than version none. You just gotta put it out there. If you just get if you're overthinking, you don't just, like, execute on it, nothing's gonna happen. It's definitely not too late this year for them to throw it together. It really builds a lot of value. You can start small. And it doesn't have to be super big, but then I think what happened the first year is we definitely didn't get 80% of our gym to sign up because people were like, "What is this?" The coaches, the owners, we had to build value and with people, we had to hope that they trusted us to sign up. And then once they watched the first year and our Friday Night Lights and the team challenges and everything like that, that got, that got people more bought in next year. There was a lot of FOMO with that. So we really focus on the community, the participation. This year, a lot of people are saying it's your yearly fitness checkup, which is great. Like people love, there's the subset of people at our gym that love testing their fitness or seeing where they're at, seeing their improvement if they're new and making sure that they're maintaining and not falling off if they're a long time CrossFitter. That's where I'm at now. I'm just trying not to get any worse if I can. Um,
Right.
and that's great for some CrossFitters. I think the OGs, that's still just why we all started. We love the open. We all did it because we just wanted to do better every year and make it to the CrossFit Games. But that's just so far flung now. Like it's so far out of reach for anybody to comprehend that. But I think all of your members come to your gym because they want to be a part of community. So if you can create a community involvement around your open, that is going to help with open signups. I think that's where a lot of gyms are like, yeah, on Fridays, we're going to do the open workout in class. And they're like, what's the open? They're like, well, it's just this like competition. It's just a workout. So like, just show up Friday and do it. Like you have to, as much as you may not want to take the time to educate people on what the open is and why they should do it. If you don't do that, they're not going to sign up. We got
Right.
okay open signups at our gym. I think we used to get like 40 to 60 people. Our gym was 150. So whatever percentage that is, like that's what we were at before we started our intramural open. And because now that's basically the way that they register to participate in our huge event. It's not that they're doing the open, they're doing the RDT intramural
Oh,
open.
yeah. Yeah.
It's bigger than the open. Obviously the open's huge. It's the feeder system to the CrossFit Games. We're not bigger than the CrossFit Games, but at
No, I
our
feel
gym,
you. I feel
at
you.
our
Yep.
gym, it is. People
Yep.
people don't know what the CrossFit Games are, and they sign up for the open at our gym. They have no
Yeah.
idea. They may have never watched. They don't know who Jason Hopper is. They don't care. They're doing it because Susie in class told them that they should do it, and it's fun. They get to hang out on Friday nights, and they get to wear an old Halloween costume they got laying
You've
around.
owned it. It's your CrossFit Games. It's RDT's CrossFit Games. It's
Yeah,
RDT.
exactly.
It's the RDT Games. You've taken ownership. You brought it
So
like,
we're
yeah.
leveraging the CrossFit Open for our internal gym event. A 3-week celebration of our community. That's kind of what's really great, for sure.
Friday Night Lights is a game changer at RDT.
Yeah, which Friday Night Lights is big, and we require you can earn another point. Yep. So that's two of our coaches actually. Jake was on your podcast before as well. He had a huge weight loss journey. He was on your podcast maybe like 4
I
years
thought
ago.
I saw him on a he lost 200 pounds. I thought I saw him on a reel in your it flashed by
Yes.
and I was like, oh, I think I know that guy.
Yep, Jake's one of my best friends. We've done our ultra marathon trail runs together. I had to massage his calves in the woods while they were cramping up. He said that
Oh, I've
definitely
never
not come up on
massaged
this
anyone's
show, but
I've never massaged
so
anyone's calves in the woods.
yeah, on the side of a highway with traffic going by, he was cramping up, and so
Get on
he
your
thought
back, boy. Give
he
me
thought
one
it
of
was
your
good to not drink any water for the first 2 hours, so that didn't play out well.
get on your back and put your legs up, boy.
Yep, but then, and then this is our coach Zeus, our other full-time coach. But yeah, we get over 100 people on Friday night to go through heats. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a wild high. A lot 150 people being vulnerable, pumping endorphins.
Yeah, supporting each other. The cheering is crazy when people are trying to finish a workout under the cap. Like there's like huge moments every year that are like our big, like memorable moments. The first year we had this member, Tanya, she was doing the scaled version of the workout, the one that Boz programmed, that was the increasing snatch ladder with like handstand push-ups and stuff that none of our RX athletes got very far. But she did the scaled workout and was fighting the time cap, and it was unreal. People circled up around her and were screaming. The second year, one of our members, Steve, was literally 1 second under the time cap on 24.1, doing the dumbbell snatch burpee, his first year of CrossFit, and he just like collapsed to the floor, like no life left in his body. Everybody was screaming at him.
It's
and then
crazy you remember these moments.
and then I have a reel on there. You might have seen it. Me finishing 24 24.3 or 25.3.
Is it
Um,
old?
so it would be a year or two ago.
Okay.
It's not like the highest quality looking snapshot, but I finished. It was that thruster chest to bar, thruster bar muscle up workout. Um, and all night, our whole Friday Night Lights, nobody finished it. And it, a lot of people were strategizing how they were going to finish it and how they were going to break it up, and it turned out to be a lot harder than we thought. So then I wound up finishing 1 second shy of the time cap. Jake, who just had that comment up there, he was my judge, and he just spikes the clipboard, and the whole gym just like is going nuts. So that was like a personal low moment for me. I've not hurt that bad in the open in a long time. Getting to watch those other people, like I remember
He
those
spiked
moments.
the clipboard. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That means
he
he's
was
bought in. He's
he
losing
was
his
more hyped
shit.
than me. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like your buddy is your like me and Jake love to lift like one more pound than each other for sure on a lifting day. But like your buddies at the gym should hopefully be your biggest supporters as well, and like want you to
Right.
do well in the workout.
Is this the owner of the gym?
Yeah, it's me and Dave.
You both have babies?
So that I think is their son. Yeah, it's their younger son, Jace. And that's my
That's
son, Benson. And then
oh,
now
and
actually,
that'll really get you guys to bond too. People, dads having kids.
yeah. And our sons actually go to the same daycare right now. So they hang out every Wednesday and go to daycare together. So and there's just so many kids at the gym. It's awesome. So we just try to, be a good role model, lead by example for our kids for sure.
Did you plan on having kids?
Yes, but not, it was just something where as like one of four kids, like I was saying, parents split up and we were young. There was just really never enough to go around. So it was always something where I was like, I don't want to have kids until I'm ready with like my life stuff. So it took
Yeah.
until, my wife, rags on me. She wanted kids probably a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
But we waited, and then I would say my only regret in life is not having them sooner. That's it.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear you say that because
it's the best thing ever. I waited too long being selfish, which is fine. I needed that period in my 20s, but I probably could have started, shaved a few years off of just focusing on me and working and whatever, and focusing on being a dad, which now changes everything.
I was so glad to hear you say that because it's interesting you say that. My parents separated too. We were never short of anything. My mom and dad gave us. I had everything, probably too much, but I didn't. I never wanted kids, and then finally my wife was like, "Hey, I need one of those," and holy shit, like same
Yeah.
exact as you. I mean, I don't regret waiting, but also like if I was younger, I would have 10 kids.
Yeah.
It is truly I don't know, like a video game reference. It unlocks the level you didn't know was there. And I don't
Yeah.
know, and I don't think you can unlock that level unless you have a kid. And so it was
You don't understand until you're in it.
yeah,
For
and then
sure.
it's just like, holy shit, this is like all of a sudden life really has value all of a sudden.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's like you said, you can't understand it, but it is like,
I
you're
still don't
losing.
understand it and I'm in it.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. It
Not to
doesn't
like
make
after
any
you've gone one
logical
stage.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You kind of have to let go of that old version of yourself, and being selfish. Like it's not like selfish sounds really bad, but all you have to care about is yourself, probably your significant other, maybe a dog. We have a couple
Yeah.
dogs, but
There's
like,
a freedom to that though as you get older, don't you think? Like I definitely understand if you're 25 and you have a kid, like that could be hard because you're just
yeah,
not you're still working on yourself, and I ain't shitting on that. But
yeah,
there's a
exactly.
certain point, probably like at your age, where you're like, okay, I've heard enough of Sean's shit.
Yeah,
Like he had a good run, and then it's
yes,
like, oh, I'm free from him. I
I'm
mean,
good.
it's the
I've done a bunch
yeah.
of fun, cool stuff.
Yeah,
Like it's
and it's
time
kind of
to
the
kind of
business you're
from
in too of helping people. It's like, okay, I'm like it's like a freedom from yourself.
it. Yeah,
It's
for
sort of how
sure.
like people it's sort of like how people talk about finding Jesus when I have religious people on. It's like they surrendered and gave their life over. And then and if you have a
Yeah,
kid, like
exactly.
you're gonna find like, hey, once you do that, it's fucking game on. It's awesome.
Yep, it doesn't stop.
Sevi, this guy changed my life. He's as humble as they come. Glad he's doing this. It means more than you know. To him and our community, he's the man. Yeah, it's obvious you're the man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Jake.
are you pretty geeky about game stuff too?
CrossFit game stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife
Yeah.
hates it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I identify a lot with JR Howell. Like I just can think of like I told you those open moments off the top of my head, but I remember, you know, what 16 point the other day I remember talked about something. They're like, oh, it was on something. I was like, yeah, the worst logistical programmed open workout ever is like 16.1, the overhead barbell walking lunge workout. Some gyms can only run 2 people through. I did the workout on Thursday night at this gym against these 2 guys, 2 of my friends, Bob and Rob. They came out super hot and I passed them 12 minutes. Like I remember that from 2016. I don't know why, but you know, that's just like how my brain works.
It's just
Just
it's just
obsession.
it's just in there.
Mhm.
Wow, people love you. Sean's the best. He's always been a great friend of my husband and never denied to accept his challenges or races. Run it back with Jake Hagel. We now have twin boys since you guys last podcast. Wow.
Yeah, so Coach Jake has twin boys now. It's his wife Kylie. She comes to the gym as well with the boys all the time. I was just helping him do some skin the cats on the rings the other day. They're about to be 2, I think. But yeah, Jake and I have done some crazy trail runs together and stuff. So, we're looking to maybe do another one. We'll see if I get approval from my wife.
I identify with JR too. I'm awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that was
And this guy's name is Sean M too, so he's obviously awesome.
Say your last name McAvinue?
That's what everybody thinks, but it's McAvinue.
Oh,
McAvinue. Mhm.
McAvinue. Okay.
Yeah, but you get used to it. That's why I like my social medias are all Sean Mac because it's just easier for people.
Me too. My athletes are exhausted of me talking about the open and the games, but we're smaller affiliate with not a lot of competitors, and they just need a
Yeah,
little push.
we have no competitors at our gym, 0. Our highest finishing, like we have a handful that will make quarterfinals. Out of 160, we might have 30 or 40 in the top 25%. So it's about 25%, but there are not a lot of competitors out there at all. I mean, we have it when they did the 10% quarterfinals, we might get a dozen people that are making it in. But it's, the open isn't about we don't make the open about the competition. It's about the community, the celebration, a little bit about testing yourself there for sure. So yeah, I mean, so we have people that love casual competition, I guess. Like people do like that side of the open, our in-house competition, local comps. Oh yeah, I see Dave Shapiro in the comments. He's an elite athlete for sure, Coach Shapiro.
Is he at your gym?
Yeah, he's joking. Yeah, he's at our
Oh,
gym.
oh,
He's a
oh. He was
master's
offended.
athlete. In his head, he's an elite athlete for sure, for sure.
That's the only place that matters, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
for sure.
so I just this is gonna be I'm switching this. This is no longer a podcast. I want to do a little job interview with you.
Okay.
Interview for a job you're not even applying for.
Okay.
Who do you think is the best male games athlete you've seen in their performances in the last 2 years?
Athletically, like just
who do you think is on the rise? Who do you think is like you're like, yep, this is the guy right now? Who's the guy in the space?
oh gosh. I don't think Hopper won convincingly enough this past year to pick him.
Mm-hmm.
James Sprague has shown over the course of this last year that he is not a false champion. He's absolutely as fit as he has proved, winning Wadapalooza, podiuming at Rogue when everybody said he's not strong enough. He's too tall. He's not strong enough. Would either probably be him. Justin looks scary, like he's on a comeback though. And then Ricky, if the pegboard played out differently, could have been the champion last year. But if I had to just pick this year, I'm going to go Sprague. And that's like a selfish pick because I just think Sprague is one of the most positive, just good dudes out there for sure. Like that's just,
Yeah, I
not
think
just
that's
numbers, but also preference.
that's a solid take. Let me ask you something very controversial. Do you think Colton can get top 10 at the games this year?
Absolutely. I think Colton can get top 10.
Are you sure your feelings for him aren't clouding your judgment?
I do love Colton. I think everybody loves an underdog story. And like, he plays up that he hates that everybody says he's short, but there's going to be a couple things at the game. So it's, unfortunately, he lives and dies by programming. Even if I love his social media. He like plays it up like and doesn't care that he's short, he can do the box jump overs. But like, if you have to do an extra half a pull on a rope climb and you have to land lower in a squat on the top of a box jump over, like he can make up for it on the chest to bars and the barbell cycling. But the machine output, he's always, just biometrically at a disadvantage. And he definitely, I think he will get top 10. He might even be able to get top 5 in his career. But I just feel like a podium or a win is going to be really hard for Colton, which is hard for me to say because I also love Colton just from all of his involvement in the social media. But I just don't know if he can overcome that.
Okay, now let's move on to something very controversial. Would you like to see Laura Horvat with Tia out? Would you like to see Laura Horvat come back and compete this year?
I would, because I think she's one of the fittest people on earth. So I think it's just awesome to watch all of the best people involved in the games. So like, I would love for Laura to be back, Pat to be back, anybody else who sat out. I know there was huge number of people in Europe, the games athletes that didn't participate. So would love to see a big comeback year so we can just see everybody in the same place. Like, that's what the CrossFit Open is all about. Everybody in the world does the workout. It feeds to the next stage, and at the CrossFit Games, hopefully we get the best field of 30 or however many we're going to get, this year at the CrossFit Games. I would hate to have, Lucy Campbell won or Olivia Kerstetter won, but Laura didn't show up. So I wonder, Tia was pregnant. So I wonder, it's just one of those things that you hate to see it. The asterisks next to people's names, is
Right.
not,
Right.
it's exciting to talk about in the media, but it's not like, it makes you uneasy for a whole year. So maybe it's good. I don't know, but I would like to see everybody there.
And I think that's a good point. If someone else wins and Laura's not there, what's fascinating about Laura, and feel free to push back on this, is Tia's going to win no matter what if she's there. But I feel the same thing with Laura. If Tia's not there, Laura is the winner in my mind. And even if she's losing the last day, she's going to be the winner. And so if Lucy does win the games and Laura's not there, there is going to be that asterisk, because it's not like it's a fluke when Laura wins. She's a dominant athlete.
She's dominant, and I think part of Laura's dominance that we all remember is how dominant she is at Rogue,
Mhm.
on top of the games. But I do think this new class that's coming up, and I know Lucy Campbell isn't as young as some of the other athletes, but she's, scary good. After just coming out of nowhere last year, beat Laura at Wadapalooza when Laura looked flat and just not as strong. And Olivia Kerstetter, she just did her 10-year throwback to when she was a baby, at the gym and all that.
Crazy.
That was wild.
That was crazy.
Emma Lawson's back this year. Hopefully her back is
Yes.
healthy. The unknown this year, the women's field, I think, like, it's, congrats to Tia for being being a mom again. But like, I think if Laura shows up, we've got last year was one of the most exciting women's games, in a long time. But I think we are in store for another amazing year. With Tia out, who knows who's going to win? I don't think Laura runs away with it this year, because the Lucy McGonagalls and these young girls that are coming up with, train under Tia, Olivia and Lucy McGonagall, Lucy Campbell's, like, these people are, they're unbelievable. They're just a different class. It's like the Boys Interrupted crew. Like, a few years ago, we were, I was listening to all the podcasts and everybody's like, Jason Flopper and Justin's out after he won his 2 years. And
Yeah,
James
he's
Sprague
washed, and
James Sprague, like, he's
and
too
James
tall.
doesn't have the fire. Yeah.
Like, all these things. And now those four, Dallin obviously as well, like, unbelievable. That guy's got to get a championship. He's got, the shot at winning the games as well any given year coming up here. So the guys' race is exciting, even if it's top heavy. But I think the women's race is a little more open than it looks. I don't know that Laura would just run away with it. So
Jeffrey Birchfield, why do we need an asterisk at all? The winner is the winner of who is there. I hear you. You could be the best ever, but if you stay in the garage, no one will ever know. There's a truth to that, but the whole cool thing about CrossFit is that it's $20 to enter the games, right? To start the journey, to prove that you're the fittest human being on the world. There's no politics. There's no handouts. There's no and we do believe that Laura can do it. And so without her there, um, man, it's the same with Fraser. Fraser retired, and it's like, man, even that next year, I forget who won. Do you remember who won after Fraser? Was it Justin?
Adler. Adler
Ad
won. Yeah,
Adler
or
won
Ben
after
Smith.
Matt? No, after Fraser?
Oh, sorry, Justin won 2 years, and then
Okay,
Adler won. Yeah, so the first
okay.
year
Well,
Justin won.
that was almost a ding on your. If I know
Yeah,
something you
sorry.
don't know, yeah, that was almost a
Ben
ding on your
Smith.
interview.
Ben Smith had 2016 in between Froning
Look
and
at you
Frazier.
making up. Here we go. Good, nice recovery.
2007, James Fitzgerald won OPT. Yeah.
What about
Oh,
Gazan?
damn. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was terrible with the car wreck last year. She just snatched 200 and then 205 back-to-back weeks. Um, and Kotler's a great coach. I think like on mental game, like what he did with Ricky, bringing Ricky back, like that's
Yep.
huge. What a good resume. And so
What percentage do you? What percentage of the game's athletes do you think are on steroids? Do you think any of them are on steroids?
Yes, but I don't know what percentage it is.
You mean even people? You think that there's people at the games who are on steroids of the 20 men and 20 women
probably not at
or
the
30?
games, but taking things that are untestable or they think are untestable and then cycling off when they're there. I remember years ago, asking me like, don't you think all these athletes are on steroids? And I was in my 20s and I think naive and just like, I put all these athletes on a pedestal and I said no. But nowadays, I mean, even if it's just, steroids, like, are they on anabolics? Not necessarily, but are they maybe taking peptides or other things that are out of your system super fast? Like, I think a lot of them could be. And then the amount of them that are maybe taking supplements that are tainted that they don't know about. Like, that's
Right.
Ricky's whole story is he says his buddy gave him a tub of something that had something in it. He started taking it. He started noticing he was getting a lot better. And his buddy came back and said, I don't know if you should take that, man. And then he just kind of like mentally ignored that because he was like just so addicted to seeing the improvement that he kept taking it. And that's when Ricky popped. So like, it's hard if you make your living, there's money on the line, people will do things.
And if you've given your life to everything to this thing, right? Their obsession.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I mean, I hope it's not a lot of them. And yeah, like Julia's saying, they'll cycle off. They're using it to get through the year, peptides to recover from dings and be able to train heavier and harder again sooner. I'd like to think that they're all just being smarter. Like I know Hopper this last year has talked about like his biggest difference from the HWPO dungeon experience was that he's more intentional. And when he doesn't feel good and he doesn't feel like he can go there, he modifies his training or he skips it, right? So he's only doing intensity when he is mentally ready to go to that place. With us casual CrossFitters, we all come to that intersection in a workout where you realize this is the moment. You're like 12, 13 minutes into a 20-minute AMRAP. You're like, do I want to go this way at this fork? And it's going to get really dark and I'm going to drool on myself and then, it's going to get bad. Or do I want to just kind of like back away and slow down and just like finish this thing out? And, that's what it depends on where you're at. It depends on what you're up for that day. There's that mental side of those workouts for the competitors. In class, most people, they approach that point, they take it easy. They maybe stay down the middle somewhere. It's rare that people lean into the darkness there. So I don't really do that anymore. And I just redid 17.5 the other day, the 9 thrusters and 35 double unders for 10 rounds. And I just kept clicking off 55-second splits on the workout and saw that I could PR by like a minute plus. And I leaned into it. And the class that was working out next door came over and they were like, are you okay? Because I don't do that anymore, And I was like, I just saw a big opportunity to hit a PR. It was there today, so I went to that dark place. Like Open's coming up. I guess I should do this every now and then, but yeah, I think
Kevin Gainey, Ben won in 2015. You're digging your hole deeper. I'll give him 1 year. That's good. One year.
Those old years.
This might be an interview for the CrossFit Friday night CrossFit show. It's funny because I was just telling Sousa 2 days ago. I was like, God, we need to cultivate more people on the show.
I mean, if I knew I was being interviewed, I would have researched and I would have known.
You would have prepped
the year for Ben Smith. That era is like a little fuzzy.
Well, let me tell you, we're so uh, we're so unorganized. I never tell those guys ahead of time. I just, like, throughout the week, I just anytime I see something I wanna talk about, I just copy and paste it to a Google document. Hey, great meeting you. I hope to stay in
Yeah,
touch with you.
absolutely.
One personal question. Why are if you're in Jersey, why am I communicating with you on WhatsApp? Why don't we text?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, do you normally use WhatsApp?
You sent
That's
me a link and it sent me to download the WhatsApp, so I messaged back there. I thought that's how you
Oh,
organized your
no
show
shit.
messages. I don't
Oh,
know.
so that was my fault. Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay.
I think I
That
responded through SMS, but then it, like, nothing
Are
was
you a
happening,
Droid? Are
so
you a Droid guy?
iPhone. Yeah, I don't know.
iPhone.
It went
Oh,
through as a green bubble, so I just figured you were, the enemy
uh,
droid.
right. Okay. All right. All right. I have to unfuck that. All right. All right. I'll send you a text right after the show and see if that works.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
Sean, great meeting you. Thanks for
Great
coming
meeting you,
on.
Savvy.
Yeah, good luck in the open. Thanks for everything you do.
Thanks. Yeah, man.
Thank you
Good
to
luck in the
everyone
open to
that
you too.
thank you. I'm excited. I'm lying. I'm not excited. Uh, thank everyone at CrossFit, RDT for everything you guys are doing, for civilization and making people healthier. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to
For
Dave
my
and
kids and
Danielle
yours.
Lorenzo for, getting our community together and taking that leap of faith in 2018. They've created a special place.
Awesome. All right, dude. I'll chat with you soon.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Holy shit. God, the world is a perfect place. I think that's the guy. Oh, that's what my wife said to me last night. I think that's the guy. I was just telling Susie yesterday or a day ago, Susan and I were chopping it up, and I'm like, "Man, I need to find a guy." I think that might be the guy. Sevi, I did the 20 rep, back squat last night. I sent it to you. Oh, no shit. Hey, that was slowly leaving it's so funny because at first I'm like, "What's he talking about?" That was probably one day away from leaving my memory forever, that discussion we had. That's awesome that you sent that just now. I'll check it out. Did you send it to me in a text? I don't see it. I'm not so much in my DMs these days unless I'm looking for, yes. What did he say his last name was? Sean, not McAvinue. What did he say it was? I already forget. Hey, dipshit, sign up for the open. I will. I will. How many CrossFit shirts do you have? Oh, RossFit shirts. Oh, I think maybe 2. I think Vindicate made this one for me. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Oh, I can't. Oh, that's weird. That didn't even come as a link. Send that to. You have my personal phone number. Send it to my personal number. I should pin this work number to my. Oh, that's what I need to do. 5 years in, I just figured this out. I need to pin the work number. Text message. See if it pops up here. Weird. That didn't come through as a link. Wow, dude. 20 at 285. That's nuts. Max 20, do you know?
20
For
what?
for a back squat?
I don't know. I would imagine I could do 300. Yeah, pretty good.
20's yeah, 20's crazy. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'll do it. I'll tag you in it.
Okay, awesome. Tag Taylor too. Some guy behind you doing sit-ups. Damn, did that hurt? Are you sore as fuck from that? Shoes unstrapped. Little foot adjustment. Oh boy. God, isn't that nasty re-racking that? Wow. Not sore at all. Wow, I'm surprised. Wow. Maybe you're old and it's gonna be tomorrow. Yeah, nice job, Kevin. Yeah, that's crazy. I think I got 315 for 20. No shit. Those last 5 were otherworldly. Yeah, that's savage. Yeah, I agree. 20 rep back squat cycle is brutal. I have like 12 CEO shirts willing to sing and sell if anyone wants. Sling and sell. Is this shirt available anymore? I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can sell this shirt because of. I wonder if Souza put the word Livermore on the back. Let me talk to Vindicate and Souza. I wonder if it just said Livermore really small somewhere, if we could sell this shirt. I don't think you can just sell a CrossFit shirt. I think they would fucking slap us around a little bit for that. But maybe if you put the word Livermore back up on the collar or somewhere, we could piggyback off of Souza's gym. Could find a workaround. Yeah, there's probably some way to do it. I love seeing this shirt clean in my closet. I actually give some thought, not a lot, like 20 seconds of thought to what I'm going to wear when I come on the show, which shirt. Like I was going to pull out a CEO shirt and I thought, no, this guy represents a CrossFit affiliate. I need to put on a CrossFit shirt. Yeah, if you put an affiliate, you can sell it. You can sail it. I love sailing it. Rear Naked Takes tonight at 5:30 Eastern time on Glinton's tonight to get you all warmed up for the CrossFit update. Big fights tomorrow. God, so excited. And jonesing for a good men in their bikini underwear beating each other. Rear Naked Takes at 5:30. So what is that? That's 2:30 Pacific Standard. What is today? Is today Friday? And then at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're doing the CrossFit Games update show. JR, Taylor, Bryson, myself, possibly Souza. Dawnfall is supposed to be at the affiliate gathering during TFX. When is TFX? The polar plunge. What I did 10 years ago, if the polar plunge is what I think it is, that's like when you're like in Finland and you walk out into the ice, there's ice floating around in the bay and you walk out into it. Me and Nico and some other dudes, we just saunaed naked together. And it was so fucking hot in the sauna. And I think we were in there for 10 or 15 minutes. It was brutal. I had to cover my nose because my nose hairs felt like they had gone combustible. And I was so hot when I got out that when I walked in the water, I didn't even feel anything. Like nothing. And I laughed for like an hour straight after that. I swear to God, it was like someone gave me drugs. It was so, I was almost a little embarrassed. I was like maniacally laughing for an hour. Doug Chapman, OG programmer, used to program 20 rep max of everything. So like deadlift, front squat, back squat, overhead squat. The 20 rep max overhead squat is the worst. Yeah, when I started CrossFit, we did a lot of that. I did so many overhead squat 20 rep maxes. I got kicked out of the UC Berkeley student gym for doing that. Yeah. And definitely talked to many a times for deadlifting there. Any footage of this? No. The naked plunge? No. I would definitely love to come to Laguna Seca, Mr. William Plummer. Bill. Yeah, I did. I remember going for a 175 pound set of 20 overhead squat, and I dropped the weights, but I had a safety bar there, and it hit the safety bar. I remember, and it was so fucking loud. I was in a squat rack. Yep. And it was crazy loud. There was this other workout we used to do all the time too. It was 100 reps with 95 pounds overhead squat. I think Andy Hendel, the owner of Taylor's Gym, he did that unbroken. I remember that became kind of we were always trying to do that. And then it was yeah, there were all sorts of weird challenges like that back in the day that in all the videos were that stuff. All right, Kill Taylor tomorrow. A girl's defending the money. Oh boy. Oh boy. Taylor will not be defending the Paper Street Coffee money tomorrow. It's a girl. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. That should be interesting. Morgan Porter, she's hot. Sentinel athlete. So let's see how that goes. All right, I'll see you guys this evening. CrossFit Games Update Show. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.